January 18th council meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge and a moment of silence. And during our moment of silence, please remember Dave Damaris, founder of Kingdom Warriors, and keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. His selfless giving of his time and talents will be greatly missed. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Jackie, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Evans,
Here.
Vice Mayor Russell,
Here.
Mr. Haskins,
Here.
Mr. Mitchell,
Here.
Ms. Cooper,
Here.
Mr. Redmond,
Here.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Here. And everyone should have received the proceedings from the January 4th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move. Sorry. Second.
Mr. Haskins,
Yeah.
Mayor Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
And no financial statements. Do we have any public comments tonight? Anybody from the public wish to speak? All right, and no committee reports, so that takes us right to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. As I reported at the last council meeting, I just want to give a little bit of an updated and a reminder about Duke Energy. They are intending to replace that, what essentially is a 60-year-old gas line that goes through downtown Milford. They intend to replace that line this year in 2022. The areas that will be impacted are Main Street from Mill Street to Pike Street, Lila Avenue behind Kerrigan up towards Miami Township. They anticipate that that project is going to start in April, and they anticipate that that's going to last approximately 6 months. During that 6-month time, while they're in downtown Milford, they're going to do a block at a time, so they're going to close off a block at a time and work on that. They'll be milling and asphalt overlaying those impact areas. I know everyone's concerned about the paving that we did a few years ago, so they're going to go in and make that right. They're also going to be probably tearing up some sidewalks downtown Milford, so we're going to get some sidewalk replacements. I'm arguing with Duke just to go ahead and replace our entire downtown. They're going to be making accommodations for Frontier Days and Sparks in the park. Duke was thinking about having just a community neighborhood meeting, but with COVID and other concerns, they're going to send representatives out starting next month, mid-February, to all of the business owners, especially down in that downtown area, and some of the residential property owners, to discuss the scope of the project and answer any questions. If they feel that they're not doing very well at getting that outreach, then they'll consider a public meeting. We do have a meeting with our staff, I think next week, to go over internally the specifications and the project that Duke has provided to us, and then we'll follow that up with our department heads and our utilities with Duke at another meeting prior to the project starting, just so we have an opportunity to get some of our concerns from a utility perspective. From a public safety perspective, the fire department having to reroute on those blocks, they've asked for officers to be present during the project, so it's a big undertaking. 25 Main Street proposals, we've received some inquiries about that. I know folks in the community are curious about that. We're still receiving new and or revised proposals for the property. Those are due to the city by the end of February. Proposal solicitations include consideration for the building only and also the entire property lot, including the building site. So we just kind of opened it broadly up to any developer, any business that's interested. So again, those are due at the end of February. We do have a few business items also to report on. Our cemetery maintenance bids are out right now to the public. There is a mandatory pre-bid meeting next Friday, the 28th at 2, and then the bids are due the preceding Friday, February 4th at 2 o'clock. We did receive information from Clermont County's Park District. They're accepting applications and grants for their Parks Improvement Program. If council and the Community Development Committee will recall, we did get this grant last year. It's a small grant up to $20,000, and that was the thing that we were able to utilize to expand parking at Jim Terrell Park and also expand parking at Jonas Memorial Park. There are two options that we're exploring right now, resurfacing the remaining parking lots at Jim Terrell and also resurfacing Riverside Park, the parking lot we share somewhat with the Legion, or providing shade covers. I know that that's been a topic for some of our citizens, shade covers for some of the existing playground equipment in the spring and summer months with some of the heat. Grants, projects of the other. If we don't do elected, we're still going to do those projects. So if we go for the asphalt for the parking lots, we get it, that's great, we'll do it. We're still going to do the shade for the playground. So I don't want you to think that it's going to be one or the other. But if there's money out there, we're going to go after it. And then finally, as far as my report is concerned, I intend to do the 2022 State of the City presentation at the February 1st, our next City Council meeting. That presentation will highlight 2021 and provide some overall goals and objectives for the city in 2022. There are no standing committee meetings scheduled at this time. However, I think, Janet, I'm going to get with you to schedule something. We're looking right now tentatively at next Monday. And then some reminders, January 27th is a BZA meeting at 6. And again, as I mentioned, our next regularly scheduled City Council meeting is February 1st at 7.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Mills, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I do not have a formal report for you this evening, but I did want to provide an update on some tasks that we're working on right now. We've reached that point where we're up for our, used to be triennial, now it's every 4 years that we are assessed by CALEA. And the way they do that now is through a remote access where our compliance service member from CALEA, and once again, CALEA is the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, they will access our our policy manual remotely, ensuring that our policies are up to standard and that we are uploading proofs of compliance for that. And that'll take place in February. And then in March, we will have what would have been traditionally called the actual on-site, when the assessors would be here for 3 days, interviewing employees and community members and maybe in some cases even council members. But in this current COVID and the Omicron spike, that actually is going to be a remote on-site, which, as you may be aware, I work for CALEA part-time. I've done several of these, so we'll be using Zoom. There will be a public hearing in the end of March, probably a Monday night, where we will have a Zoom meeting with the public invited and be speaking remotely to these assessors. So that's a lot of work. This is Kim Sheen-Cheng, Clerk Sheen-Cheng's first on-site as the accreditation manager. She had assisted Pat Banks in the past, and she's doing, it seems to be a great job right now, but she has a lot on her plate right now getting ready for that. Fun fact about accreditation, Milford was initially accredited in 1989, becoming the smallest agency in North America to earn that. And it was some very cutting-edge contemporary stuff in '89, and in 2021, 2022, it's more the norm, and we've seen the importance of having the oversight and those professional standards with CALEA. And as you may be aware, we're also certified by the Ohio Collaborative, so we're kind of dual accredited, if you will. So in addition to preparing for our CALEA on-site, we're also working on our annual report. And as always, I will give a presentation in the next month or so on that, and also our annual awards banquet. We've got some great awards that I'm looking forward to presenting this year.
Thank
Are there
you.
any questions?
Chief in '89.
I think that was Art Scott. He was the chief that spearheaded accreditation. I was in high school. I was a senior.
He was here.
I was in high school too.
Thank you. District Chief Miller.
Good evening.
Evening.
Not a whole lot to report. Chief's working on his annual report as well, so that'll be ready for the next council meeting. I did want to bring up Mark Milford, Miami Township Addiction Response Team. I work a lot with that. And for 2021, that was a shortened year, but I did want to bring up just a couple of things. We work with the Milford Police Department while we're doing this. We met with over 200 people, or we tried to meet with over 200 people. Collectively, we met 129 of those, either themselves or we met with family members. And 26 people have reported to be in treatment currently. So
Awesome.
we are making contact and we're getting some people in recovery, which is good.
That's awesome.
And then you guys will be electing 2 members to the Volunteer Firefighters Dependents Fund here in a little bit. Just to briefly mention that, it's a statutory requirement for every Ohio fire department that has volunteer firefighters. Knock on wood, you're not gonna have to do anything, but basically what you would do is you help disperse funds for a volunteer firefighter in the event they are killed in the line of duty. But again, we're not gonna have to worry about that. But that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to council comments. Any comments from council? All right,
It's been a quiet couple of weeks.
I know. That's been not something. That brings us to new business, which is electing 2 members to the Volunteer Firefighters Dependents Fund. And currently, that's Ted and Sandy. So would you like to remain in that position?
I'm fine to do that.
Unless anybody else is eager?
I had reached out to them just because I wasn't sure what it involved or just to help out, and Ted and I talked about that, and if chosen, then I can take Ted's
You want-
place.
you want to take your spot?
Sounds
All right,
good.
And then you want to stay on?
I'll stay on.
All right, how does council feel? Do we need to do a vote or just a voice vote?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do a
Do a
vote, just to be
Okay,
safe.
so we're appointing, or the vote is to appoint Sandy and Janet, I guess, to the firefighter board.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes. And next, did everybody get a chance to review the committee assignments?
Yes.
Any questions or concerns, or is everybody okay with those? Yes? I think we made the one switch with Kyle that we talked about, and everything else pretty much stayed the same. So do we need to vote to accept the new committee assignments, or are they good?
No, you don't have to do that now.
Okay. And then next on the list was to approve the nomination to appoint Andrew Burkett to the Personnel Commission. So we need to do a vote for that,
Let's
I
vote on
assume. So take a vote to nominate Andrew Burkett to the Personnel Commission?
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
And last is to approve the summer schedule. Did everybody get a chance to look at the 3 dates for the summer?
Oh,
June 21st, July 19th, and August 16th. Everyone good?
Looks good to me.
So do we need to vote to approve the calendar? We're good with that? All right, so that's okay. And then that moves us to ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 22-122, an ordinance authorizing the vice mayor to officiate at marriage ceremonies, now therefore be ordained by the council of the municipality of Milford. Section 1, the mayor of the city of Milford, Lisa Hicks, hereby expressly directs that Sandy Russell, vice mayor of the city of Milford, may perform marriages and officiate at marriage ceremonies with the same authority as is vested in the mayor of the city of Milford. Section 2, this council of the city of Milford, pursuant to and in accordance with Section 3.11 of the Charter of the City of Milford, hereby grants its approval. Section 3, pursuant to in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins.
Yes.
Ordinance 22-122, an ordinance authorizing the vice mayor to officiate at marriage ceremonies.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes. Do you have to swear her in or anything? Or
No.
Okay. So any old business?
Actually, Mayor, I have a couple of things. We have 3 vacancies on the BZA. We're still accepting letters of interest for that. We'd like to have those by the end of the business day next Friday. Then I'll have Jackie send you all out the letters of interest so you can review the candidates. I think we have 5 right now for 3 spots.
Possibly 7.
even better. So what we were thinking is bringing them in, if you guys want to have a little Q&A with them at the next council meeting on February 1st. But again, by that time, we'll give you all of their letters of interest, so you can have an opportunity to review those, formulate any questions you want to have. And also, just real quick, Mayor, we were advised this afternoon that there's a vacancy on the Clermont County Planning Commission, which is traditionally filled by, former Mayor Amy Velardo filled that position, and it's a directed position because the city of Milford's the only city in Clermont County, so we have a seat there. So that might be something that you all may want to also consider at your next meeting, who's going to fill the Clermont County Planning Commission seat. Sorry.
Okay. Anything else? All right, have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Well, that was pretty quick, less than 20 minutes. All right, thank you.
That was
Do you need
fast.
one?